Live.
Due to some violent content, parental discretion is advised.
Hello? Okay.
So I don't know what this thing is. I think it's a strip show, dance show.
Work there, dude.
Welcome to
DeaconLive.
DeaconLive.
Welcome back, guys. On today's show, if we were going to follow the rules, let's follow all the rules. And who is California's #1 public enemy? And a diamond made out of ranch dressing. And a couple finds and opens a mystery box while they're remodeling. All this and much, much more will be discussed here on Deacon Live. How are you? How are things? How are things going? Are you doing all right? We have a very, very nice, lovely, rainy day right here in the studio. And you can hear my printer going back there, regurgitating something. I apologize for that. For those of you who don't know, we broadcast just outside of Charlotte, North Carolina, a beautiful little town we like to call Marshville. We sit on about 22 some odd acres, and we have horses, chickens, and cattle and all that stuff. And probably in the next couple of weeks or so, well, let me tell you what's going on. And we appreciate you guys as well. And I know you're doing well. But let me tell you what's going on. Last week, I wasn't too honest as far as what was going on with my dad and everything. I didn't want to cause panic in the family or anything. But as you know, my mom passed away about 2 weeks ago. And so we went down to make sure, do the service and everything and make sure my dad's okay and try to get all his collectiveness going. So we spent about a week down there. And as soon as we left, all right, Dad, see you later. We'll be back up here in about a week and stuff. And we'll, start, getting the house ready to sell and all that stuff. There's some things that we need to do. As soon as we left, about 2 hours we went down to Orlando, by the way. That's where he was at. Claremont, small little town just outside of Orlando. And we're about in the Jacksonville area, which is about 2.5 hours away. And my aunt, his sister-in-law, my dad's brother and sister-in-law, were staying because of the service stuff and just swung by after we left and to check on my dad and make sure he's okay. And he's like, I just can't get my ass in gear. So my aunt, being a retired ER nurse or retired she's in the medical field. I don't know what she does. I always see her in scrubs all the time. I'm like, you live in those? And she said my dad's oxygen was really, really low and his heart rate was really, really high, which I guess that's a bad combination. So they rushed him to the emergency room and he had fluid on his lungs and fluid in his body and all this other stuff and blah, 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 and everything's bad. So my dad literally was in the hospital 2 hours after we left and said, okay, Dad, see you next week. And so he was in a hospital for a week and I didn't want to say anything to panic everyone, but he's out now. So he's doing all right. He's kind of scooting around. He's old. I mean, he's done a lot. And so he's just trying to enjoy, I'm sure he's in shock. I'm sure he's, not doing well as far as, losing my mom and stuff. But I mean, grieving happens and all that. So we're in the process of trying to move him up here on the fridge. And so he's out of the hospital. He's at home. Now he's starting to learn and work on the paperwork and, paying for the bills and all that stuff. Now, granted, he's been doing it since my mom's been in the hospital, but for the most part, there's a lot of other stuff that, behind the scenes that my dad's getting ready to find out or get ready to learn how to do real quick. And we've been trying to help him. We did his taxes that weren't done for 2020 or 2021. We did his taxes and everything. And so we're at a point now where it's all right. It's go time. It's time to figure out what we're keeping in the house, figuring out what we're going to sell at the estate sale. How are we going to sell the house? The roof on the house is 22 years old, from my understanding. It's hard to get insurance on a roof in Florida that's older than 15 years, which is to me unheard of. When they say 30 years shingled roof, it means 30 years shingled roof. But I guess insurance, they've learned their lessons. They're putting tighter clamps and restrictions down on everything. So it's hard. They're going to say replace the whole roof, and there's not a stitch wrong with that roof. I mean, it still looks like the day that the house was built. Now it's a brand new building. It was built in 2000 and 22 years on the roof. I mean, are shingles falling off? No. Are there leaks or cracks or anything in the roof or ceiling, exterior or interior? No, there's nothing wrong with that roof. I'm sure it could go on for another 15 years. But the insurance companies in Florida will not allow you to insure a house that's got a roof or have problems insuring a house that has a roof that's more than 15 years old. So that's where we're at now. And I got to fix a couple things. I was doing another show here and I had to adjust do I sound better now? Do I sound more elusive and mysterious? No. So this is what's going on. Hold on. So we're getting ready to move my dad up here. We're going to build him. He's going to live in our house on our ranch here. And then we're going to get him a tiny home on the backside of the property. He's going to have his own electric. He's going to have his own little space. I forget what the square footage of a tiny house is. 400 square feet. You don't think that's a lot? That's a lot. That's a lot of room. That's 10 by 30 for one guy to just sit there and live, live his life, do what he wants. You don't have to worry about the yard. You don't have to worry about, doing a whole lot of housekeeping or anything like that. And that's the way he wants it. Sure. No problem. So we're going to sell the house. He's going to move up here. And that's where we're at right now. Now, on the other side of that coin is my wife. Now, she's fine with it. Oh, God. Hold on. I got to get my little fidget here. My wife's fine with it. And, she's, that's, you're supposed to be supportive of your spouse. So she has no problem with him moving up here. And which is good. What kind of marriage would that be? That would be a horrible marriage. No, I don't want your dad up here. No. It's not that way, believe me. She's been very supportive throughout the whole thing. And we were sitting, we have an island in the main kitchen area, and we kind of sit there and kind of discuss the day's topics as far as what we're going to do. And both my wife and I work from home, and he can have the west side of the house, which has its own bathroom and has it's separate. It's a split floor plan. And you can have that side of the house, and, we can go, other than the kitchen area, we can go all day long because the other side of the house has the entertainment room and the master bedroom and all the other stuff. We could go all day without seeing each other. I sometimes, unless I go in unless I go into my wife's office, I don't see her at all. You all right? Are you still in here? Can I bring you anything? Can I slip under something underneath the door to feed you? So my wife, as we're sitting there, now I take vitamins. You have the little vitamin things that's got, the AM Sunday through Saturday and the PM Sunday through Saturday. So I was doing really good and taking my vitamins every day. Of course, now we're back from Florida, so I've kind of been slacking on that. So we went out and bought all the vitamins, the D vitamins, the B vitamins, the multivitamins, the fiber, the baby aspirin, all the stuff that you're supposed to take. And then the nighttime stuff we take, what's the collagen? Take collagen. We'll take melatonin. We'll take what the pills you're supposed to take at night and the pills you're supposed to take in the morning. So my wife said, hey, I'm getting ready to make my pill caplet tablet thing, whatever it is, with all the 14 compartments on it. Do you mind if I make yours? I'm like, yeah, you got all the pills out. Go ahead and fill mine up as well. Our pills kind of mirror each other, except for, she's got women's daily and I've got men's daily. I don't know what the difference is. Like the pill's going to go in my body and goes, where's the vagina? And my pill's going to go in her body and goes, where's the penis? So she sets all mine up. Now, we've had these for a while, these containers, these 14 compartment containers, and they're color coded. The one side's this color and one side's that color, and it all varies. I don't like the green and purple one. I want the blue and red one, that type stuff. But it says, on one side, Monday through Saturday, or Saturday through Sunday AM, Saturday through Sunday PM. And I got used to my colors. So she sets them all up. She makes them all and everything. And she puts it on the counter Sunday night. Monday morning, I get up. I'm making breakfast. She's already starting work. I'm coming back in from doing stuff from outside, feeding the animals and stuff. And I come back inside. And so I look at my pills. I'm like, oh, that's right. It's Monday. Got to start my new regiment. So I take my pills. So I go to the one side that's the AM, take the pills, and then go on. Tuesday comes around. Again, I emptied one more, took my pills for the day. Of course, I took the pills at night and vice versa and stuff. And then she comes up to me on the past Wednesday. We're getting ready for bed. She's like, oh, you didn't take your night pills yet. Actually, what she said was, have you taken your night pills yet? And I'm already getting in bed. I'm like, no. I said, can you go grab them and bring them to me? She's like, yeah, I'll bring them to you. So she comes in the room. She goes, you already took your night pills. And I go, no, babe, I didn't. No, you did. And she points to the box with the missing pills in it and shows me that the pills are gone for that day. I said, no, I took those this morning. She said, those are the nighttime side. And I go, what do you mean that's the nighttime side? On my pill thing, I have a blue side and a purple side. The purple side was PM. It says PM on it. Don't get me wrong. It says PM on it. And the blue side says AM. That's the, I don't, to me, it makes sense. If it says AM, it means morning. If it says PM, it says night. So I was, and all the letters have been rubbed off. All the letters are gone. So I go out there and I'm like, all right, blue is the AM and the purple is the PM. She put all my nighttime pills on the AM side because the letters are all gone. So I'm out there taking pills. Here comes Monday, like around noon. I'm like, God, am I tired? Am I beat? Well, something's not right. And I don't look at the pills. I just shove them all in my mouth and swallow them. Tuesday, of course, I did the same thing. Took my pills. Around noon comes around. I'm like, God, I'm beat. Wednesday, the same thing. And the vice versa of that is I was taking the morning pills at night. And she's like, how do you sleep? We always say, how'd you sleep last night? And I could not sleep for the last 2 or 3 nights because I was taking the morning pills at night. She had me all, she's like, no, you're doing it wrong. The blue is the nighttime. And I'm like, why would you switch me up? So I literally had to take a Sharpie and write a big letter A. I don't care Monday through Saturday because sometimes I forget. I just write A on all one side and then P on the other side. So I just thought it was fun. And I was like, God, and she's laughing at me. She's like, so no wonder you didn't want to do anything on Tuesday afternoon. I'm like, yeah, I just didn't feel like doing anything. I just want to sit in chairs and eat Doritos. So now that that's all cleared up, I'm good. I'm back on track. And hopefully you guys are back on track as well. All right, guys, stick around. We got a big show to get into, lots to talk about. And then we'll also talk to IT Dan with Is This Going Somewhere later on the show. Stick around. You're listening to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back. Welcome back to Deacon Live. Make sure you follow us on all your social networks. And the way you do that is go over to Prophet Radio, PROPHET Radio. Click on social contacts, and you can find all the links that links us to you and you to us as well. And don't forget, for every podcast we do, we have a matching video as well. As I'm waving to you, you can see this video in real time. You can also see my computer monitor when I talk about stories and things going on. Like, go check this out. And you can see it and enjoy it. Make sure you like and subscribe as well, and you'll get a notification. We appreciate you guys. And subscribe. We don't do a whole lot of, well, hold on. Let me rephrase that. We push the YouTube channel as much as we can. We're also doing Twitch as well. So if you guys are on those platforms, we appreciate you guys. Kind of give us a like and a share. And we do appreciate it. And we'll give you some free stuff as well. And the way you do that is while you're over there at Prophet Radio, click on free swag. We'll send out some stickers, some magnets. We got some buttons, lapel buttons for you as well. We'll mail those out to you. I just fill out the little form and we'll get it out to you as soon as possible. Now, we just recently switched to the daylight savings time. And I don't know if is it daylight savings time or daylight saving times? Daylight saving, I don't know what it is. But anyways, we've been fighting around for this for a long time. I think, a lot of people weren't really complaining about it when I was growing up, but later on, in the past 15 years, it's gotten like this snowball effect. Like, hey, why do we even do this anymore? This was for the farmers so they could work in the fields and do all that. There's, I think, 3 states that don't recognize it. And then, but essentially that's what daylight savings times was for. So now we're in a different community. We're not a farm country anymore. We're a consumer country. Say what you want as far as producing stuff. We don't. We actually consume everything that the world has to offer. And that's why a lot of people love us and a lot of people hate us here in the United States. But so we're thinking now, all right, let's come up with a different argument. Why do we need daylight savings times? Well, if you're out of the house and stuff, you're not running your heat, you're not running the AC, you're not doing all that would cause a crutch for the a crutch for the climate and a crutch for everything that we do or do not produce here in the United States. Which is fine. Kids like to go out and play out later, get inside before the street lights come on. and all that stuff. There's also a lot of other different things. People hate getting up, especially if you have to work at 6 o'clock in the morning. God, I feel for all you that have to commute or travel and you're riding around now in the dark trying to get to where you're supposed to do, or vice versa. You get off work normally at 5 o'clock and you got, 3 or 4 hours of daylight before the sun goes down, depending on where you live. And now daylight savings times has taken that away from you, and you only got like maybe an hour and a half to 2 hours. I know it's 1 hour shift, but believe me, those out there that this affects, people understand that and know what I'm talking about. Well, right now, a bill has passed in the Senate to eliminate daylight savings time. So if you want to see this video, the way you do that is go over to profitradio.com, click on DeaconLive, and for our podcast we have a matching video, and you can see this in real time as we're talking about it here. So here we go.
My annual ritual of changing our clocks could become a thing of the past if senators get their way. The Senate unanimously passed a bill that would make daylight savings time permanent. It's not law yet, but as Scott McFarland reports, suddenly there's growing momentum. Scott, good morning. This is good news for a lot of people.
And Vlad, good morning to you. Without warning and without objection, the Senate passed the Sunshine Protection Act, which makes daylight saving permanent, keeps it in place for good. Now it's on to the U.S. House, where the chairman of the powerful House Energy Committee tells CBS News, quote, "I'm pleased to see momentum building on the impacts of springing forward and falling back. It's clear to me that it's time to stop changing our clocks twice a year." Despite the bipartisanship, though, there's no vote on the calendar and no commitment from House leadership to do so. But here in Congress last week, medical experts testified before the U.S. House that during the twice-a-year clock changing, the rates of heart attack, stroke, and sleep disorder all rise. If this becomes law, it takes effect in November 2023, which gives time to adjust to the stopping of the adjusting of clocks, Tony.
Yeah, time for the buses and the trains and the planes to adjust. I can adjust, right now if they changed it. Scott, thank you very much. I'm a big fan of this.
Yeah, everybody is.
Well, I used to be opposed, guys, because I like that extra hour of sleep, but clearly the advantages far outweigh the negatives. So I've changed.
So, yeah, there's a lot going on. They're still waiting on this. There's nothing on the docket yet as far as the House bidding on it. They got a lot of other stuff going on, keeping their peepers over there on the East, over in Ukraine and stuff, to make sure that we're not putting up anything that's going to invalidate anything that they've got on the books that are getting ready to come up here soon. Now, I know it's spitting out a bunch of weird stuff. Now, one of the things with us slowly getting back in the community, slowly get back out to the brand new norm, is baseball season's getting ready to start. Now, what happened? All right. So baseball season's getting ready to start. Now, we've been slowly, they're starting to fill up the the grandstands again, and the bandstands in some areas. And so they've had a lot of time because there's no one been in the audience. They haven't been, doing as many. They've been doing the games, but just, not as. I think I saw one pitcher doing it underhand. I mean, because there's no one there, no one's watching. They're just flicking the ball and go, here, hit the ball. But in this time, they've had some time to concentrate on other things, like changing the rules of the game and updating the rules that have been going on and they've been wanting to change. The franchise is no longer debating about the baseball rules, but the baseball rules are changing. After a nail-biting 99-day stalemate, the Major League Baseball and the Major League the MLBPA have come to agreement allowing all this to begin in the 2022 season, and it looks like it's going to be slightly different than 2021 season. There's a lot of stuff that's going on. Let's see. I'll touch on a couple things here, and then I got a guy who's going to talk about that as well. So, and the draft rules are going to change. Draft lottery will be implemented to discourage tanking. They'll also, in order to prohibit service time manipulations, draft picks will be induced. Other rules that are playing. The first-time player uniforms will be featured in advertising, including patches on jerseys and decals on batting helmets. The number of times players can be optioned to the major leagues is once per season, and that'll be limited. The 2023 season will be more balanced teams. At least the teams will play at least one series against every opponent on both leagues. So there's a couple other things that are going to change. And for that, we're going to go to a TikTok video. You guys know what TikTok is, right? So here we go. Here's a TikTok video of what's going to happen.
Baseball's back and it has some new rules. Here's everything you need to know for the 2022 season. There will now be 12 teams that make the playoffs. Last season there was 10, now there's 12. That is 2 more. The universal DH is official. Every pitcher that's not named Shohei Ohtani will no longer be hitting. No more runners starting on second base in extra innings, which thank the heavenly Lord Heavens, thank the Father for that. And no more 7-inning doubleheaders. All doubleheaders will be 9 innings again. Opening day is April 7th, and mustard is the best topping to put on a hot dog.
Well, I think that's good. I mean, baseball, I don't know if it's America's pastime anymore, but there's a lot of people out there, especially in the Northeast, that love baseball. So hopefully these rule changes and everything will inspire a lot of people to go out there and start getting involved again. Now, back to following the rules as far as daylight savings time that we're changing, and we're also changing the rules in baseball. A bartender has now revealed on TikTok that she repeatedly lied to their boss in an attempt to quote-unquote train her. Now, what do you say about that? So what does that mean? So what that means is this person right here was working at a restaurant, and the manager of the restaurant said, do me a favor, when people come in for the job and stuff, is it a restaurant? Hold on, let me see. Make sure I'm saying this right. Yep. Whenever... All right, so this is actually what happens. So what happened was the hiring manager for this really, really nice restaurant was asking the bartender to say, hey, look, when someone comes in at a certain time, here's the list of everyone that's coming in. Like Kathy's coming in at 1 o'clock. Todd's coming in at 1:15 or something like that. Make a note of all the people that are late and let me know, give me the list. And, those people that are late, I'll fire them to the interview. And with that being said, she's like, all right, no problem. So, Veronica gets there. Her appointment's at 2 o'clock. She gets there, shows Veronica where to sit and wait, and says the manager will be right with you to interview you. And then the manager shows up late or gets to that room late, 15, 20 minutes late, and the person's not there anymore. And the manager goes to the girl, goes, hey, what happened to Veronica? Oh, she left. All right. So she kept doing this over and over and over again. And what she was doing, the bartender was saying, you know what? Hey, you're asking these people to be here on time. They've got a lot of stuff going on. We can't afford to lose any more employees. We're trying to fill our floor count here as far as employees. And you're making me make sure that they're here on time when most of the time you were late to the actual interview. Whether you were doing something front of house, back house, whatever it is, 2 o'clock. So the bartender was saying, I sent them home, or they left. They left because you were late to the interview. So long story short, let's see. Because there are so many restaurants that are hiring right now, it isn't common for applicants to do a no-show for an interview because they already accepted a job somewhere else. So every time she was running late for a scheduled interview, and it coincided with a no-show, I lied. I said that they were here, but they were on time and left because she said that you didn't show up on the time that you were scheduled to show up. Eventually, the applicant did arrive on time, and so on and so forth. So after the applicant would leave, the bartender's boss arrived early to each interview from then on out. So what she was doing, she was trying to change the bartender, she's trying to change the manager's conception as far as, hey, look, you're asking these people to be on time. I think it should be fair that you should be on time as well. Get your shit together. So she was doing like that reverse psychology training. All right, guys, when we come back, we'll talk to IT Dan with Is This Going Somewhere? When we come back, you're listening to Deacon Live right here on Proper Radio. I'll be right back. Welcome back to Deacon Live. And right now we have a special guest in the studio. We are going to talk to Is This Going Somewhere with IT Dan. Dan, how are you?
I'm doing good. It's nice to be back here.
You look different.
Yeah,
you look shorter. Have you lost weight or anything?
I've been exercising a little bit, but I don't think maybe a pound or two.
All right. So, what brings you to the station today?
Oh, we had to setting up a laptop and backing up a lot of things, just getting all your maintenance, getting everything ready for you.
For the live remotes. And for those of you who don't know, we've talked about it before. I will be down in Florida for the next couple weeks, so you guys are welcome to come out and see me at any times, and I'll give you locations and stuff from that. Just go over to DeaconLive. Actually, go over to ProfitRadio.com, and I'll tell you where we are located at. Now, Dan, how do you feel? We haven't talked in a while since the attack of the USSR or Russia or the Russian Federation and all that have attacked this small little country called the Ukraine. How do you feel about that? And give me your opinions on that.
I'm finding it amazed how Ukraine is fighting back. They definitely don't have the weapons or the tanks, and just
no, they do. They do, Dan.
But they don't have.
No,
firepower.
Dan, they do. All they have to do is they walk their lazy ass across the whatever to Afghanistan, where we left all that shit before. Have them just, I'm sure the keys are still in it.
Yeah.
Jump in all those vehicles and all that stuff and hightail it back over there. Boom. Problem solved, right?
Okay. If this in your world, it takes a little while to get there. Tanks don't travel that fast.
Well, I mean, it's not like Russia just set or Putin just set up overnight over outside the border towns and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, it took a couple weeks, if not months, to do all that. So, why don't they go over there and grab all that stuff we left behind?
I'm sure that it's all been dismantled, or you'd have to fight the Taliban to get it back. So,
trade one war for another war, right?
War is horrible. People are dying from, and they're people, whether you're a Russian or whether you're from Ukraine. People are dying, and it's not good. Are they dying? Is an actual head count that you've seen from the Ukraine saying, hey, the head count right now is 100 people or 1,000 people? I haven't seen any head counts outside of small numbers. I don't, and I could be wrong. Yeah.
I don't think I've seen the head count reach 100 people. I've seen where people have been shot and someone has died because of this and that, but I don't think it's what we think a war would be.
Okay, well, I'll have to agree to disagree.
Well, no, I mean, actually, Dan, have you seen in the headlines 1,000 killed, 2,000 killed, 3,000 killed? Yeah. Now, when we were in Afghanistan, we were doing the whole, you said we didn't belong in Iraq or Iran anyways, and we saw 1,000 people, 1,500 people were, or 1,500 troops were dead. 2,000 troops were dead, and the number kept rising, but we heard it all the time during the whole entire battle and everything. Well, not battle, but the policing is what it was. It was a police event, and we haven't seen that on the Ukraine side. We haven't seen that today. The body count is now 500. Have you seen those headlines? I haven't seen.
I haven't seen that amount, but I've seen the shelling. I've seen the. Well, they'll say,
right. So
they'll say 80 people killed here, or 30 here, or 5 here, and stuff like that. So.
Is it 80 and 30, or is it like?
I'm just picking numbers.
I know you are. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So you can pick numbers, and everyone else can pick numbers too. But I haven't seen, body count. Headline. New York Times body count in Ukraine war estimated as of today, 1,500 people. Okay. I haven't seen those yet, and I don't think that's. I mean, outside of a couple little onesies and twosies of dead people laying everywhere.
So you say there's probably 10 people dead then?
I'm going to say, as of this time, as of this podcast, I don't think there's been more than 10 or 20 people that have actually been killed.
All right. That's interesting.
I'm just saying.
Yeah. Okay. I disagree with that account, but I can't.
So when you say you disagree with that, Dan, why do you disagree with that?
Because
have you seen different numbers? Have you seen any numbers?
I haven't seen that said we have a tally of this many people have died. I haven't seen that, but I've seen the shelling. I've seen the small individual stories where 3 people killed here, 5, there. So.
Again, are these numbers that you're just pulling out of your ass again?
No, I mean, you see, when something happens and I see it, it's horrible. I'm looking at it, but I don't write it all down on a piece of paper saying, okay, let me think.
But that's what I'm saying. You don't see the actual where it says, Day 7 of the war in Ukraine, body count total, and they do, because news lives on that. They live on, if it bleeds, it leads type deal. So if you hear that, there's hundreds, if they said over 500 people have been killed in Ukraine, do you not think the NATO would start getting involved? Do you think that the Axis power, not the Axis, the Allied powers would start getting involved when you start seeing these high dense, now you can show buildings all day long. If there's nobody in those buildings, you're just pounding sand.
Well, it's a city, and they go in there. And war's a horrible thing.
You said that.
And I don't think people estimate how hard a country will do to protect their own, the people invading the country.
And I agree. That's what we went through.
They fight harder for their own land. We learned that in Vietnam.
I was just going to say that's what we learned in
Afghanistan, Iraq, and I do not want to see the United States sending any military or any.
We
more
won't.
of our kids.
We won't because we have to follow the rules. We have to follow the rules. Now, granted, Putin has not been following the rules. He stepped over this. He's taken over. What's the buildings that have the nuclear power plants?
Yes, taking over Chernobyl and the nuclear power plants. I think what's different about this war is people are filming things with their cameras and sending it up. It's like in real time. It's something we haven't seen before.
But I'm not seeing that as much. I mean, Afghanistan has 80 million people in it, and let's say 10% of those people have cameras, have smartphones, 10%. And that's using that term very loosely.
Yes.
So you have 8 million peoples. You have 8 million people with cell phones that have cameras on them. I'm not seeing the destruction. I am seeing rubbles on the ground. I'm seeing these old clips and stuff from other, I'm going to say it, Dan, things that weren't actually going on right now. And I told you this before. I said, be careful what you're seeing on these news feeds. There are old video footage of things with soundtracks.
That's what Russia's trying to. That's their propaganda that you're believing.
No. That's what we are. I say we. Yeah. Are we the West? Are we the West? What are we?
I get confused with that too. So,
but I'm saying that's what the news media feed says. Okay, let's show these people running in terror and scared, and then we'll put bomb shellings behind it. Meanwhile, you're like going, "This is."
You sent me that clip, but that had to be done. Russia as a propaganda machine that they send out things that makes you think that Ukrainians are bad and Russia's just walking down the street. Nothing's going on here. Just don't worry about it. People aren't really being killed. There's probably only 10 people killed in the war so far.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. When it gets to a certain level, then our ears and our eyes are going to perk up and say, okay, we need to get involved in this. But I think that's what's happening. People think that it's a war. There's people dying left and right. It's not happening. You're not seeing mass casualties on the side of the road. You're not seeing, the blown up baby carriage with blood and guts on one side and the car over there with, mom and dad in it and they're exploded.
What about that journalist that was just killed?
Yeah, you had it coming. I don't know. Tell me about the journalist.
No, I mean, he was 51 years old, and I think you have to realize when you're in there in a war zone that it is dangerous. It's going to happen, but
Is it a war zone though? Is it a war zone? I guess that's my main question.
Yeah,
is it a war zone, or is it them saying they're taunting? They're still on the borders. They haven't. I mean, outside of taking over like Chernobyl and stuff, they're really not threatening.
They're in the cities with tanks and they're shooting at people and killing people.
No, but where is the body count?
Where do you get your news from?
Dan, honestly, for the last 3 weeks, because of the death of my mom and everything I've been going on, I have not watched the news feed, but I have not seen anything where the news feeds that I have seen, whether it be CNN or Fox or TikTok, believe it or not, it's more accurate than a lot of news feeds that are out there because it's instant, it's independent. I'm not seeing people up in arms, and I'm not hearing about it on talk because I listen to talk radio all the time. I'm not hearing about up in arms. They've killed 50,000 people or 10,000.
Because everyone is going to the mall and they're going shopping, and the war is not right next door to them, and a lot of people just. Oh, well, it's just news. When I get to get this done, and I want to watch a story about this, but my wife is watching 6-7 hours a day, and
I don't know how you put up with that.
I don't know. And I mean, I'm inside playing video games. She goes, okay.
And what kind of video games are you playing? War and destruction video games.
Yeah, but not with guns, just with, swords and spears and things.
So, different century,
people aren't really getting killed in my games, so. she just gets so upset and it's bothering her. And I go, why do you watch it? She goes, I want to stay on top. I want to know what's going on. And I said, I want to know, but I don't want to know because it bothers me. There's people are dying and there's too much of it.
Is that what bothers you? The people are dying in a war?
Yeah.
People are dying in a pandemic?
People dying. I'm part of mankind. And when any person dies, that you're losing someone from mankind.
You would not.
It's not necessary.
You would not do well in the what is it? There's a psychological test that says you're on a train. You're on a train and the track splits. You could turn to the right and kill this one person and say 50 over here, or turn left, turn left and kill these 50 people you don't know to save your grandmother on the right hand side. You know what I mean?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and those are ones, or the one where if you press a button on this box, someone that you don't know will die, but you'll get $1 million. The movies like that. Yeah, I wouldn't do well on that. So.
No.
And I don't obsess over it. It's not really bothering me a lot, but I can only watch so much. I read a few headlines, I look at it, and I just say, I can't get involved with it.
There's a saying, a very smart man, many years ago, before he passed away, there's a gentleman by the name of George Carlin. George Carlin said, when you see the news feeds, you see the news broadcasts and stuff, and you hear 20,000 people were killed today, and you're like going, yes, let's go see the bodies. Where is it at? And they goes, Afghanistan. Fuck them. That's too far away. It's like when people go to NASCAR races to see an accident. Let's go look at the bodies. Let's go. It's happening so far away. We are not involved in it. Now, we might be police force. I'm sure troops are moving to this section of this. They're not moving through Afghanistan. We already pulled them out, which, you can debate whether that was a dumb action now based on what's going on. But look at the way that the things have fallen. So we got out of Afghanistan and came back home. So we really have no military presence in the central area.
We have military presence everywhere. Countries all around.
But in Afghanistan, which is a very, very strong stronghold, we don't have that military presence in a very, very secure country that we were, of course, being there. So as soon as we moved out, Taliban came back in. They started doing their bullshit, and now Russia is now coming around the Ukraine. Now, granted, the terms were different as far as why but we don't have a strong military. Now we have NATO. Which it's it's like playing Red Rover.
Yeah, I don't know enough about NATO and how much I don't worry about NATO forces invading us or causing any damage to anybody.
Well, that's why we're in NATO. They will not attack us. That's the way the whole NATO thing works.
Yeah. And it does bother me that there's wars and there's always going to be wars. I think it would be nice if it was the old days where when they went to war, the king would always ride first on the horse, to war. I think that we'd have a lot less wars if Putin had to be out in the front of the army.
He was shirtless riding on a horse.
Yeah, that's in a video from 12 years ago. Yes, I've seen it.
Still, I mean, that was...
Yeah.
What else going on, Dan? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make it a dark conversation about the war and stuff.
Isn't it supposed to be a dark conversation?
It is a dark conversation. Yeah. So I just want to make sure you were okay. Are you doing all right?
Yeah, I'm doing okay, and I'm just trying to do a few little odd jobs here and here, and I officially retired from Home Depot. So and it was really funny because even after not being in the building for a couple of years, it kind of took a load off my chest when I filled out a resignation letter. I don't know why. It shouldn't matter, but I go, I'm officially retired. So, and then what do? Kathy says, you're hanging around the house too much.
Go do something. Find something to do. You're bothering me.
You got to do some volunteer work. So I joined this group called Civitans.
Okay, what's that about?
You go around. It's a nonprofit group, and you go around helping people in the community. And the first thing I did, they had a fundraiser for pine straw. And had my truck, borrowed someone's trailer, and you just go to the fire station, load your truck up with bundles of pine straw and deliver it to a bunch of different houses, which was it was okay to do. But this Friday, I have to go around, and there's one area of the road that we have to go around with trash bags and the pickup grabbers. and pick up a whole bunch of trash on the side of the roads. And when you drive by and you laugh at the convicts that are there, and
you're doing the same thing for free.
Same thing for free, yes. So, but it's doing my part for the.
And what's the name of the group that you're volunteering?
It's called the Civitan, CIVITANS.
Ironically, Dan, I am a Civitan affiliated program here in the studio. So all the work that you did here, great. That's volunteer work, Dan. You can write those off on your hours. I appreciate it.
Yes.
The 2 hours that you spend here, uploading all the stuff to the laptop and getting everything up to date for DeaconLive so we can go out on the road and do all the stuff down in Florida. Civitan, thanks you very much for your support, Dan.
Yeah. So this is sponsored by let me tell you about this is sponsored by the letter F in the word you.
What else you got going on? Anything, Dan?
No, there's not too much at all. I have been chilling out.
You look good, by the way. You look good. Your hair looks nice and long. That's always good.
Yes.
And you've been working out?
On the exercise, on the, what's the name of the bicycle?
Recumbent bicycle.
Recumbent bicycle. I've been doing that. I'm up to about 20 minutes a day with that.
You saw my bicycle down there?
Yes, I saw your bicycle there. It doesn't look like it was ever been used.
I told you, I've only gone on like a couple rides. I've been busy with it.
Look at the tire tread. There isn't even a bit of dirt on it. It's like come out of the box.
I ride on the concrete road. There shouldn't be any dirt on it at all.
Yeah, I put a tread gauge on it. You haven't. That thing's just sitting there for looks. Yes, it is. Have I seen a video of you riding on it? No.
You know how hard it is to do a video on a bicycle? You know what? I'll do a TikTok video for you, and I'll post it, and you can see a TikTok video of me because I've got the little. I actually took the time. I don't know if you actually looked at my bike. I've got a cell phone.
I saw the cell phone.
And I can do a video of me like nose up, that angle up my nose in the sky as I'm riding down on my new bicycle.
Yeah, and I want to see somewhere you're driving by trees, not just in your driveway.
All right, Dan, anything else before I let you go?
No, just it's good to be here. It's good to be back at the ranch. I mean, it's just you go outside and it's just a nice feeling out here, the wide openness and the trees and horses and the chickens walking around.
Right. We appreciate you, Dan, and thank you very much for coming out and doing all your volunteer work for us here at City Fan. What's it called?
You can't even remember the name of it. Yeah, you're out of luck.
All right, guys, stick around. We got a lot more coming up. You're listening to DeaconLive right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back.
All right.
Welcome back to DeaconLive. Make sure you follow us on all your social networks, and the way you do that is go over to Prophet Radio, PROPHET Radio. And don't forget, we'd like to hear from you. And the way you do that, excuse me, don't forget, we'd like to hear from each and every one of you. And the way you do that is while you're over at prophetradio.com, there's a little blue bar kind of floating around the page there. It says Be Heard on it. Click that, opens up a microphone on your tablet, on your smart device, whatever you're listening to us on, and you can speak right in your microphone. It comes right to our inbox, and we'll play it on this podcast if you get it in quick enough. If not, we can play it on the very next podcast as well. Ask us questions, give a shout out, say us you love us, you hate us. If you have any questions about any of the podcasts that we've been doing for the last 7 years, feel free to ask those, and we'll answer them on the very next podcast as well. So now, here in North Carolina, when's deer hunting season? I know it's usually in the cold months, anywhere from October to January, February, somewhere around there. And we always see like deer on the side of the road. God knows when you hear or see a skunk. Actually, when you hear, you don't hear it. When you see a skunk on the side of the road, sometimes it'll be a half mile before you see it, and then half mile after that you can smell it. But a lot of times, here on the ranch, now for those you don't know, we broadcast just outside of Charlotte, North Carolina, a beautiful little town we like to call Marshville. We sit on about 22 some odd acres, so we have some livestock or free range. We have foxes that sometimes come on our property. We also have a family of deer and stuff that come through the property. Unfortunately, the backside of our property was full of briars, and deer love to live in briars, but we needed that for our horses. So we took it upon ourselves to actually shoo them out, so God knows where they're living at now. And they dart across the street. My wife has hit one, which was a horrible experience for her. But then once you hit the deer and it's dead on the side of the road, you're like going, okay, well, it's a deer. It's no different than me shooting it for hunting season. Can I take this home with you? Well, there's a new app out there right now. in the Wyoming Game and Fish have released a new app called the Wyoming 511, which allows you to take and cook and put some more protein on your plate out there in Wyoming. For more on this app, let's check this out. Now, for every podcast we do, we have a matching video as well, and you can see this video in real time, and we'll switch to camera 4 so we can all see it and we can all be friends. You ready? Here we go.
How to apply for authorization to possess roadkill from a public road or highway by submitting a request through the Wyoming 511 mobile app. Begin by opening the Wyoming 511 app. On the bottom of your device's screen, you'll see Report Roadkill listed along with other menu options. Tap the Report Roadkill button to start your request. The next screen has 2 options. The first option is to report a carcass, and the second option lets you view previously approved certificates. Tap on the button that says Yes, Report Carcass. After tapping, you'll be taken to a screen that asks you what type of animal you would like to report. Tap on the field that says Select Species and choose the species that corresponds to the roadkill.
Black bear, grizzly bear, moose, goat, wild bison, wild turkey.
Once you've selected a species, there will be another question asking if the animal is blocking traffic. Either select yes or no. Once you've answered yes or no, you'll see another question appear. The question asks,
would you eat it?
Application to the Wyoming Game and Fish to collect this animal? Once again, select yes or no. If you select no, then you can click Submit Report, and WYDOT and Game and Fish will use these data to identify areas where species of wildlife are commonly hit. You'll see a confirmation screen that says, "Thank you for submitting this report," and you can tap on a button to return to the home screen. If you answered yes to the question that asks if you want to submit an application to collect the animal, then you'll see a blue Continue button appear that you can tap once you're ready to confirm your choice. On the following screen, you'll see a question asking if you've done any business with the Wyoming Game and Fish in the past 10 years. This could include things like purchasing a license, preference point, or getting an AIS decal. If you haven't done business with Game and Fish, select no and fill out the required fields to register with Wyoming Game and Fish.
Tell me how do I eat it?
The next screen will ask you to confirm that the information submitted is correct. Tap Edit to make any necessary changes. Click Continue if your information is correct. If you have done business with Game and Fish, select Yes, and then you can look up your information by typing your last name in the first field and then going down to the second field to select your date of birth. If you have an account on file, you'll see an option that says Account Found, and you can click Continue. If it doesn't look correct, tap Not Me. This screen will let you provide a zip code. Tap Retrieve Account. If it doesn't, go back and select No to the question in the past 10 years and follow the process.
I want to see how to identify if I can eat it.
We'll ask if, to the best of your knowledge, this animal was killed due to an...
Oh, here it is, right here.
To the best of... Once you click Continue, the next screen will ask if, to the best of your knowledge, this animal was killed due to an unintentional vehicle accident and not a result of illegal actions. If the statement is true, tap I agree and then Submit Report. After submitting your report, you'll see a confirmation message thanking you for your submission. Then you'll see a note stating whether or not you're able to collect the animal. You'll also see that you can click the link to download and retain the certificate for your records, and then you can tap Return to Home Screen.
And then that takes you to a recipe. No, I'm kidding.
You have your certificates at any time by clicking the Report Roadkill option from the home screen.
So there you go. You can actually, let's say for example, all right, I know I'm being silly about this, but let's say for example, like my wife hit a deer, and of course, it stumbles off, and let's say it fell over on the side of the road. You're like going, all right, well, can I keep that deer? I mean, I don't want to say, is that going to start having hunters go out there in the off season or people that don't want to get licenses, putting corn feeders on the side of the road and thinking that they're going to hit deer and not have to, I mean, that's essentially what they're doing in Wyoming. You're putting, you're hunting by vehicle or something like that. But that's what they're doing. A lot of people go, ooh, roadkill, wouldn't eat roadkill. What if you went over to Todd's house? Good old Todd, right? Todd, come on over. We're having a chili. We're having a big roast of barbecue or whatever you call it. Oh, really? What are we having? We're having venison. Oh, Todd, I didn't know you were a hunter. And as you take a bite of his chili, he goes, I'm not. Cue the bum, bum, bum. You're like, well, where'd you get the chili from? And then, you look at Todd's car out there in the driveway. Todd, how did this whole entire headlight get ripped off your... Oh, got it. Martha, let's go. Put the kids Put the kids down. Let's go. We're not eating this shit. He found it on the side of the road. So that's what's happening there in Wyoming. Beautiful country out there. God's country. That's what they say, right? Now, speaking of God's country, wink, wink, tongue in cheek, California is not happy about this corporation right now. They're public enemy number one, and they're actually filing a lawsuit against Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A is causing some squawk in Southern California with one of its multiple locations across the USA, where the fast food chain is finding themselves to be victims of its own success. Now, we all know the whole thing about, I think there was a joke going around about COVID-19. Let me switch screens here. About COVID-19 and the long lines to get tested and stuff. And someone said, well, if we turn the COVID-19 testing over to Chick-fil-A, because of their drive-through and everything, the whole entire nation would be, tested and whatever in 2 weeks. Well, unfortunately, in California, Chick-fil-A is so popular over there. And don't forget, California has a lot of open-minded people. They're a liberal state, blue state, and Chick-fil-A, for the most part, is a conservative business. So they might take some frowning upon Chick-fil-A's belief and all that. They're actually complaining that they are clogging up the roadways. They're clogging up highways or byways, the little side streets and stuff. Some places close, or there's so much cars in the drive-through lane that it blocks traffic for 55 minutes to an hour at some given times, up to almost 2 hours. Now, so they're saying, hey, look, you guys can't do this. Chick-fil-A is basically saying, hey, it's not my fault. It's not my fault that we have all this stuff. We've set up our drive-through to handle exactly what we're supposed to do. We've done everything by the law and everything like that. And the city's engineer and police chief community development directors have evaluated the situation and believe that persistent traffic backs up onto State Street is a public nuisance, and the nuisance can be caused by the operation of the drive-through, like I said before. So that's what they're saying. Kristen Sneddon, Sneddon, a member of the Santa Barbara City Council, believed the restaurant may have outgrown its location and the problem can't be fixed, according to the Santa Barbara News report. Chick-fil-A has also a good problem here. They're so successful that they've outgrown their site, and with possible oversize of that site to begin with. So what they're asking them to do is what? Get the drive-through lines to go somewhere else, go around figuring out. I believe, here's my opinion. You ready for this? I know. Big opinion. Ready? If Chick-fil-A was blocking the streets in Florida, Florida being a conservative state, Texas, they're blocking the streets in Texas because of their beliefs, because of the way the Chick-fil-A motto or the mantra or whatever they do about gays and about same-sex marriages and all that stuff, we wouldn't have a problem. You would see more support about them blocking the roadways than you would in California. I think California, because of the way they are, which is fine. Everyone, each to his own. I choose to take hot showers. Some people like to take hot baths. Some people like cold showers. Some people like cold baths. Each to his own. Just don't tell me to take a cold shower or hot bath. So when you get to that point, then you have to go, all right, what's the real problem here outside of that? Because God knows, pun intended, on Sunday mornings, there's a huge church in downtown or just outside of downtown Orlando that literally, when the church lets out, they have the police cars out front letting the congregation get out of there. And you see, Lexus, BMW, Lexus, BMW, Audi, Lexus, Ford Pinto. No, I'm just kidding. But whatever, you understand what I'm saying. There's a lot of money that's coming in and out of this church. Nobody says anything because you already know. Hey, it's lunchtime. Don't go by that Chick-fil-A. Hey, it's Sunday at 12 o'clock. Don't go by that church. They don't say anything about churches. They don't say anything about, well, here's another example. I know the Orlando Arena, or what's it called? The Amway Center. I'm born and raised in Orlando, so these are the only things I have to pull from for reference. It takes you, no lie, it probably takes you an hour and a half to get out of that parking lot. You know why? Because there's traffic. You're blocking up all the traffic. No one says anything. No one goes, all right, there's a Magic game, there's a Lightning's game or a Heat game or whatever that is at the arena. No one complains about that. Now, granted, Chick-fil-A, 6 days a week they're open. It might be a little bit more nuisance, but come on, just give them a break. I mean, they're already there. You knew this was going to happen, or did you? I don't like them heathens. Go from there. Well, if you can't go through the drive-through, maybe your car is the problem. Maybe what you need to get is a robot goat. A robot goat has been made by Kawasaki. Now, I say goat. Yes. Was that a sheep? I don't know. How do you do goats? Don't they spit or something? Don't they give you the raspberry or something? Kawasaki debuts 2 robots in 2022's International Robot Exhibition in Tokyo. The company provided a demonstration showing a person riding a goat-shaped robot. Now, if you want to see this picture right here, you can see this. Go over to ProfitRadio.com for every podcast we do. You can see what's on my screen. We can all talk about it and be friends. It looks lower. Well, I wouldn't say a goat. This thing more looks like a reindeer. It's larger. It's got a longer neck. It's got, ears to make it look somewhat cuter or something like that. And the woman that's sitting on it, she's Asian, Japanese. She's probably 5'1", 5'2". The whole thing looks like it stands about 6 feet tall, and it is a robot. Kawasaki, best known for motorcycles, debuts a 4-legged rideable robot at the world's largest robot trade show last week. The robot, Bex, B-E-X, was created by the company's Kalodian, I'm throwing extra letters in there, it's all right, program, has been working on developing a humanoid robots in Japan since 2015. Spectators got their first view of the robot in 2022 at the at the International Robot Exhibition, IREX. I got it. Rex, whatever, in Tokyo. Let's see. Here's a video of it. So if you want to see it, though the company did not give any specifications about the robot's speed and capacity, the video shows that the robot goat, quote unquote goat, is moving at a slow pace. So let's see what's going on with this goat thing. Let me turn the volume up, see if there's anything. Dun, 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 dun. There it is. Not very fancy. Looks what you would think a robot would look like. A goat robot. It's got horns to the left and right. I don't know if... And the feet are like little tennis balls. Or actual round balls. Not tennis balls, about the size of a tennis ball. So it really doesn't have like a hoof type print. So it's walking out here. All right, let's get on. Let's get the lady on there. It's moving about the pace of slow. So it squats down. Oh, it's got little wheels on it. It's got wheels on the knees, so when it squats down, the wheels take over, and it can roll. All right, so here's my question. All right, it's fascinating. Fascinating there. Fascinating. Tokyo. Domo arigato. So here's my question. Why do we need a robot, quote-unquote, goat? Do we need that? You know, it walks like baby steps. Like, I mean, little like an inch at a time, all 4 legs, inch at a time, and then it squatted down, curled its legs up underneath it, like if it was landing on something, and the knees became wheels, and then the wheels, it would roll around from there. Maybe if it's got to go all-terrain, I was going to say lose the legs, let's go with the wheels. Let's get moving here, goat guy, let's go. I got to get to the grocery store. I got to get to Chick-fil-A for the line extends out past the field of vision for the driveway and stuff. Now, in the internet right now, because everyone loves the internet, everyone loves TikTok, everyone loves a good conspiracy or a good question where everyone can fight. I mean, internet will basically divide the whole entire country at any given time, no matter what it is. The cliche one that posts on Facebook is start the debate now, and it just posts like a stick up there or a twig or whatever. and the caption is, "This is a stick." And then someone will go, "No, it's a twig." And then someone else will say, "No, it's a this and it's that." And then conspiracies and arguments ensue. Because I didn't think that we needed this, and I don't know how this is hippie talk, man. When I say hippie talk, I'm talking about people that are just smoking weed, not necessarily hippies like traditional, like in the 70s. I'm talking about people just talking about stuff and asking these questions. So here's the question, and I'm not going to dive into it because it's I don't have enough brain cells to sit here and actually think about it. I'm too old. I'm too tired. I've taken the correct pills this morning. I'm not, I don't know what pills I'm taking anymore. I'm just shoving them in my mouth. I'm wishing for the best. But the internet right now is actually debating on this. You ready for this? Are there more doors in the world than wheels? I'll say it again. Are there more doors in the world than wheels? So a simple yet interesting question that has taken over TikToks many times, multiple different creators posting questions to their audience, resulting in, of course, viral sides and all that stuff. It's clickbait. It's clickbait to get all the people on TikTok to like your shit. Well, it'll be almost impossible to get an accurate answer, but we'll put the debate to rest later on. They actually, they polled 220,000 people and said that there are more doors in the world at 56%. I'm sorry, at dyslexia. There are more, 53% of the world, 53% of the 200,000 people that they interviewed said that there are more doors versus 46.4% of the people said there are more wheels in the world. Think about it, though. A door. Door is physically, is it a walkway? Here's the debate. Here's where you get all catchy and stuff. Like my refrigerator has a door. Is it by definition, if door is in the title of describing what you're looking at, is that a door? Like the door on my, let's see, I'm looking here in the studio. I have my tower here, this one tower here that runs half of the station. I have a door in front of my CD DVD player. Is that a door? Then we start talking about wheels. Again, what's a wheel? A wheel and cog, wheeling on the road, wheel on the goddamn robot that's the goat robot that we need for some reason. So think about it and sit there and debate. Now, don't leave me just yet because I got a lot more shit to talk about because we have a recall from Walmart. But, I mean, these are the actual debates that people sit around and talk about. Meanwhile, children are starving and bombs are falling over in the east. Right? We can't figure out wheels and doors. All right, guys, stick around. I got a little bit more to get into, and I'll let you get back to what you got to do. Stick around. You're listening to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back. Welcome back to Deacon Live. You want something for free? Of course you do. Everyone wants something for free, and we'd love to give you something for free as well. And the way you do that is go over to Prophet Radio, PROPHET Radio. Click on the free swag section, fill out the little form there, and let us know what you'd like there. We got some magnets, we got some stickers, some buttons, some decals. We got a bunch of stuff over there. Fill out that little form. We'll send it to you. Just a little thing to say thank you for listening to us. We appreciate all you guys out there. Believe it or not, we really, really do. And so just to say thank you. Make sure you like, share us, and connect with us on all our social media platforms and tell your friends about us. We would appreciate that as well. Now, tell your friends about this too. Now we have, what's it? Cinco de Mayo. Well, we're in the middle of, now hold on a sec. So from my understanding, I'm so totally out of the loop as far as holidays and what's going on. I guess St. Patrick's Day is tomorrow. Something like that. I haven't seen anything as far as like St. Patrick's Day, really a whole lot of, at least around in my area. Now, we broadcast just outside of Charlotte, North Carolina, in a beautiful little town we like to call Marshville. We sit on about 22 some odd acres, but I really don't see like a big push at the restaurants that we go to as far as like, hey, come over for green beer, come over for, St. Patrick's Day. Are we still kind of shell-shocked about the whole COVID-19 thing? Some of the restaurants and bars aren't really doing that big push. Now, after that, what do we got? The next big drinking holiday is Cinco de Mayo. Maybe we'll be over it by then. Who knows? But right now, with Cinco de Mayo comes what? Corona, for whatever reason. Oh, I say for whatever reason. Sorry, I know, Mexico. I got it. I'm sorry. I realized what I said after I said it. We have chips and salsa, and we have, tacos and burritos and all that stuff. So I see that out there for Cinco de Mayo. I mean, that's the cliche stuff of what you're supposed to have. Well, when I go to Walmart, and I love going to Walmart, I can't afford, I don't want to say I can't afford, I can't see myself paying any more for the stuff that we eat and use on a daily basis, like when I go to Publix or when I go to Harris Teeter or those chain supermarkets. I'm sorry, I just can't. Now, granted, when I went down to help my dad out with the services and stuff, my dad had nothing in the house to eat. He had, leftover this and leftover that, but everything was in the house was expired because my mom was in and out of the hospital for 6 months. So he lived on the road in between, where he slept, put his head at night in the house and the hospital. So he either ate hospital food or grabbed something on the way home at the end of a long day of hanging out with my mom. So in the house, there was just stuff that was expired, like cheese and milk and just all this stuff that my dad really didn't attend to. So when we went down there, we stopped at Publix, or when we were all done with the services and everything, the next day we went to Publix and got my dad, I'm going to make you a couple meals. We're going to freeze them so you can have something to eat. Unfortunately, you understand what happened. He went in the hospital 2 hours after we left, and he was in there for a week. Now, granted, we froze all that stuff, but Publix, our little bill for him was like $230 some odd. I was like, holy mackerel, I can't say. It's my wife and just me and her here on the property. And our bill with beer and stuff usually floats around $178. And we live on that. I go every Friday and that takes care of us. Now, family of 4, family of 5, I feel for you out there, especially with the prices and everything that's going on today with the gas and supply chains. But I digress. One of the things for Cinco de Mayo, I'm probably going to cut all that out. You can watch it on the video. One of the things for Cinco de Mayo is chips and salsa. And I know that Walmart makes a really good, their brand of chips and salsa, Catalina style. I like that one. There's also a restaurant style, Great Value, is their brand or whatever like that. So right now, thousands of bags of the popular chips sold at Walmart are the center of a new recall. The recall chain, or the retail chain, in late February did a voluntary recall of bags of Great Value restaurant-style white corn chips after they were determined that they pose potential health risks and hazards due to possible metal contamination. Holy Jesus. So what happened? The recall impacts 2,555 cases, with 10 bags being in each case. So that's 25,000 bags, so on and so forth. 250,000. They need to move a comma here if you're watching this on the screen here. According to the recall impacts Illinois, I'm going to say it, Missouri, Nebraska, Wisconsin, and Wyoming. Get some, so much for your venison chili there, Todd. Can't put any corn chips in it. According to the FDA, the chips were packaged in a 13-ounce bag. Code blah, 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 blah. I'm not going to tell you all that. If you live in that area, just be careful of the corn tortilla chips out there. This is a class 2 recall, meaning the situation in which use for exposure and violation of the product may be contemporarily or medically reversed by adverse health consequences, where probably blah, 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 all this stuff. It's so complicated. Hey, look, someone screwed up. Someone dropped their lunchbox in the shredding chamber, and now we have metal strips from this guy's lunchbox in the chips. So you fix all that, and they got to stop processes, stop the presses, pull everything out, clean everything, wipe it all down, and then go back in there. What was the one ice cream place where it had listeria in it? and they couldn't get that fixed. They nuked that place a couple times as far as like cleaning it up, and they still couldn't get it done. Now, these people right here are getting it done, but I don't know if this is to my liking. I'm a big fan of Burger King. Now, Burger King started in South Florida, and I love Burger King. Flame broiled over fried and stuff. And I love a Whopper. Burger King's kind of changing their outlook as far as how they're doing the Whopper now, because that's the flagship of the restaurant or the chain, I guess, the fast food. They're not producing as many Whopper, buy one Whopper, get one free coupons. They're actually saying, you know what, this is our flagship. You guys should pay full price for our Whopper. This is our big thing. You should pay full price. But with everyone's eating habits and everyone's, going to the Impossible Burger or the Impossible Whopper and so on and so forth, the Whopper has reached the end of its reign. It has been declining for a while and fails to mess up the damp lettuce with faint whispers of char. I don't know what that means. It still has a throne, at least in terms of the Burger King marketing budget. But here's what's going on. They are looking for an opportunity to conquer God damn it. Now Burger King has made its move and is standing a good chance to take on the throne for a new reign of a flagship sandwich. What they're referring to is the Burger King has a new Whopper Melt. Ugh, that sounds disgusting to me. Whopper is undeniably cheesier. This new Whopper will be undeniably cheesier, toastier, and more satisfactory than the withered Whopper. And all I can think about is a soggy, wet... The sandwich... All right, let's do it this way. Screw the article. Here's what it looks like. It looks like... Remember... as a kid growing up, Mom, I want Burger King. Mom, I want McDonald's. Your mom would say what? We got McDonald's and Burger King at home, right? And you get home and your mom would make this greasy hamburger and slap it between pieces of loaf bread. That's what this new Whopper looks like. And they call it a melt. Earlier this year, we reported that Burger King was planning on focusing on new extensions and innovations around the Whopper. This renewed focus on the BK's flagship product came to a chain's reported of mixed sales. Okay, enter the Whopper Melt. BK's new plan on the patty melt. For the record, McDonald's has a history of selling melts too. Okay, we got that. Burger King is releasing a new product this week featuring specialty toasted bread. You know what it looks like? Texas toast. You know how you ever grab Texas toast? It's greasy. It's buttery and greasy. The Whopper Junior patties, with two Whopper Junior patties that are together the amount of a quarter pounder flame grilled beef. All right, so they're throwing two things in there instead of one. American cheese, caramelized onions, BK signature sauce. I didn't know there was a signature sauce on the BK on their hamburger. And then, which is, I guess, Thousand Island. Ugh, hate that too. The melt debuts alongside two other variations, the spicy Whopper Melt with the jalapenos and the bacon Whopper Melt. Do me a favor. I'm looking at it right now. And you can see this, switch screens here so you can see it. It literally looks like two Whopper Juniors in the middle of Texas toast. That's all it looks like. I think Hardee's had something called like a Frisco burger or something stupid like that. Are they still selling it? I don't know. But I don't think I want a bun. It's a hamburger. I want a bun wrapped around my beef. Hey-oh. Now, someone that had some beef many years ago is a gentleman, a boxer by the name of Mike Tyson. Now, there's a very influential fight, a very groundbreaking fight where Mike Tyson bit off the ear of Evander Holyfield in the middle of a fight because, and this is what happened, this is what actually happened, Evander Holyfield was taking Mike Tyson down. You would think Mike Tyson, Iron Mike Tyson, he was, he's an undefeated champ But no, Holyfield was actually getting under his skin and was beating him. Mike Tyson got frustrated, and they butted heads, and they kind of locked themselves up. And Mike Tyson had bit Evander Holyfield's ear off. Most of it. Got the top bottom of it, got frustrated, and bit it off. They all were friends, you know, and then they fined him. They took away his boxing license and all that. Evander Holyfield forgave him. He still's got a little remembrance of what happened. And Mike Tyson went on to get a stupid tattoo on his face and star in a Grammy-nominated movie by the name of The Hangover. So part of Mike Tyson's pursuit of doing something else is he actually got invested in the marijuana. He lives out in California. He started getting into marijuana, making his own strand, making his own whatever, because it's all legal and stuff out there. Screw you, Chick-fil-A, I guess, for the most part. But Mike Tyson right now is venturing into another aspect of the marijuana products. He is getting into edibles. Now, gummy edibles is, people who can't smoke, people who just want to eat something and just be done with it. There's CBD edibles. I took them a couple times with my wife here because CBD is legal here. They don't really, I don't want to say quote unquote mess you up, but for the most part, they kind of like chill you the fuck out. Mike Tyson is now coming out with his own new edibles that are called, what are they called? Hold on. He has designed these new edibles as ear-shaped, and they're called ear-shaped bites. So imagine like a gummy bear, well, the gummy substance, shaped like an ear with a piece of the ear missing, and now it's going to be an edible. So Mike Tyson has what they're called ear bites, and he's starting to sell them right now, and it's a gimmick. That's all it is a gimmick. He's trying to ride on those coattails that he had a long time ago, which is fine, but they're all these little... what am I trying to say? They're like orange. You ever seen like the orange wedges with all the sugar and stuff on them? Sometimes they make them into vitamins or whatever. They're actually made just like that. They're shaped that same like an orange wedge, and they got grooves and stuff on it. Look like an ear, and there's a piece missing off of it where it's been bitten now by Mike Tyson. Now I don't know if he's biting off each piece individually and packaging them, but now Mike Tyson is selling edibles shaped like ears with a piece missing off the top right-hand corner. So if you're out there in California, do me a favor, send me a picture of that if you can find some of those Mike Tyson ear bites. And the way you do that is just email me, deacon@profitradio.com. You can also find the email address, and you can upload your pictures. And we'll post it on the Facebook feed as well. Go over to profitradio.com. There's a little section there for you to upload a picture. I want to see it. I want to see it. Now, some people, speaking of food, some people live and die by certain condiments. I have recently found out that I enjoy Heinz ketchup, no sugar added, better than any ketchup that's out there as far as the regular ketchup. I think it tastes more like, I think McDonald's had a certain ketchup made just for McDonald's. I think Burger King has, if not, still has their ketchup. But for whatever reason, the ketchup at those fast food restaurants, the little packets or the pump machine, tastes different than the ketchup you get out of the bottle at home. So I love the Heinz sugar-free ketchup. I say sugar-free, it's no sugar added. There's still natural sugars from the actual plant, but they don't add any more sugar to make you more addictive and fat little piggies. In 2017, some evil counselors of the throne of Hidden Valley headquarters whispered a diabolical suggestion in the ears of the Ranch Kingdom monarch, and they had a keg of dressing. So they had that for a while. You could buy a whole keg of dressing. Well, right now, oh, excuse me, goddamn. excuse me, since the keg of dressing has come out, a half decade later, they have spent more time complaining. They have spent a decade now planning on how to escalate the company's worldwide descent into darkness. Now the solution has been found. It takes great form in a what they call a quote ring of power, so filled with darkness, and this is all so dark magic, so filled with dark magic that it couldn't even imagine in its wildest dreams. All right, I got it. All right. We represent to you right now Hidden Valley's Ranch Diamond Ring. It's being auctioned off right now on eBay for a limited time only. The Ranch Diamond Ring, as described, has its dread creators as the ultimate expression of true love. For the first time, mankind, a man-made diamond created from the first name in ranch. Now, what's happened is Hidden Valley has created a diamond using all the, let's see. So for the first time, Hidden Valley Ranch has created a diamond by using all the seasoning from the Hidden Valley Ranch dressing, heating it up to 250, numbers are hard for me, 2,500 degrees, and then crushing the output underneath 400 tons of pressure, taking about 5 months to create. This 2-carat gem, is set in a 14 white gold band with the letters HVR, LVR. So it's Hover Lover or something like that engraved on the outside. So what they've done is they've taken all the ingredients and stuff that they normally put in ranch dressing. They've compressed it under 2,500 degrees, crushing it for about, you can make your own, I say you, like you go out in the backyard and start hitting stuff with a hammer. Diamonds are made from carbon. So if you take all the ingredients like the dill and the ranch and the dill, the paprika, the onions and all that stuff in powder form, you create that, you're heating that carbon up and then pressing it, you can create a diamond. Now, I don't know how pure the diamond is or any flaws or anything on it, but Hidden Valley has now created a diamond for you to bid on for all those out there. Now, this is crazy for people that are just, ultimate ranch people. I say ranch like ranch loving people. Ranch dressing. Let me go further to describe that because it doesn't make any sense no matter how I say it. So for all you ranch flavored dressing people, ranch dressing flavored people out there who want to have something that a little bit of bling and stuff, it's up on eBay right now. And it's a diamond made from the stuff that they use to make ranch dressing. It's all compressed and stuff. And you can buy this right now. So right now, the current bid is at $12,450 with 78 bids. So if you want to go do that, and if you buy it, I'll let you come on the show. You bring that thing up here to Charlotte, North Carolina with that on your finger, I'll let you be on the show. How's that for incentive to buy it? It's kind of expensive, but hey, you know what? It's worth it, right? All right, we'll come back. We got one more segment, and then we'll wrap up the show and let you get back to what you got to do. Stick around. You're listening to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back. Welcome back to Deacon Live. You want something for free? Of course. We'd love to give you something for free. And the way you do that is go over to Prophet Radio, PROPHET Radio. Click on free swag and fill out the little form there, and we'll mail you some stuff out. Believe me, I got enough shit going on here. I'm going to be traveling to Florida probably in the next week or so. So I'm still doing the podcast. Don't worry. We're taking all the equipment down there. We're going on the road. We'll probably be down in Florida for the next 3 weeks or so. And we'll have some fun down there. We'll do some podcasting stuff. Hopefully we'll have some, maybe get some of my high school friends, some colleagues and stuff to hang out with me, and we'll do the podcast. Nah, fuck that. That's going to be stupid. Welcome back to Deacon Live. You want something for free? Well, we want to give you something for free, and the way you get that is to go over to Prophet Radio, PROPHET Radio, click on free swag, and fill out the little form there. Believe me, I got enough stuff going on. I don't need to, I'm not going to do anything with your email address. It's just a simple way of us saying thank you for listening to us and being a part of our show. And we'll send you some free stickers, some magnets, some buttons. We got a whole bunch of other stuff up here. We'll send it to you. I just need a return address and who I'm sending it to. And in the next couple of weeks or so, actually starting next week, we'll be down in Florida. So if you'd like to come out and see me, come out and hang out with me, let me know. You can email me at any time at deacon@profitradio.com. And make sure you follow us on Facebook, and you can follow us where we're going to be at while we're down in Florida for the next 3 weeks or so while we're down there broadcasting. All right, so here's another thing. So going through my dad's house, so that's why I'm going back down to Florida, because I have to go down to Florida to kind of clean out my dad's house, or my mom and dad's house, and, you know, box up stuff. She had so many receipts and stuff for the last, I don't know, 15 years. I don't know why she kept them. But we had a shredding company come out. They showed up, shredded everything right there on the property. It was like, my dad said it was like 500 pounds of stuff. They put it in the shredder and they went on about their day. You know, it's one of those shredding companies, and I appreciate a good friend of mine. It's always good to have friends in all aspects of your life as far as working for other companies and stuff. I don't know if that makes any sense, but a friend of mine works for a shredding company, and he kind of hooked me up, and we took care of that for my mom, or my mom and dad. So now my job is to go down there and go through everything else. They have an attic. I believe they have an attic, but there's a lot of stuff that's in there in the house that probably hasn't been touched in years and years and years since they moved in. They still have packing boxes from when they initially moved in 2000. I don't want to say they got lazy. It was just stuff that they didn't need, and they just kind of assumed that they left it in the box. Now, this couple right here is renovating a house that they bought from the 1920s and coming across weird stuff, and it's been posted on TikTok right now. An Erie box marked "Do Not Release" is found during a home renovation. Now, I know I teased this last week, and I kind of fell short on that. I ran short on my notes and stuff, and I actually, my fault, I skipped over. I had a lot going on. Please, believe me, I had a lot going on. Believe me. You want to, anyways. A spooky video circulating online reveals an unsettling contents of an Erie box that was discovered during a home renovation project, and it bears the worrisome warning, "Do not release." The chilling footage was posted on TikTok. Let's see if I can find that actual TikTok video. Let's see. So here's the actual video in the beginning. Now, if you want to see, for every podcast we do, I have a matching video as well, and you can see this video. Just go over to profitradio.com, and we'll post this on there so you can see it. So here's the actual video. I don't know if there's, here we go, here's sound.
I was only trying to fill the gaps in the wall with insulation. But this story keeps getting darker.
Of course, dramatic. So they're looking under the staircase, and there's like cobwebs and stuff, and you can see like there's a box back there. Small box, about the size of like a cigar box. So there you go. They're pulling the box out, and they set it down. It's small. So here's what's happening now. So they found it was locked, and they couldn't find where the key was, and they came across like this old mirror that was completely sealed on the backside and sealed on the front side. So the guy actually, during the renovation, hit the mirror because he heard something jingling around inside. So he hit the mirror, out pops this key. And they were like, oh, well, why would you seal up a key in this mirror that has absolutely no, like it was welded shut? And it looked like an old mirror as well. So they opened it up. Here we go. So this is what was actually inside the box.
This is what 25 million of you wanted to see. But for those who don't know, I found this locked box in my attic wall. And the key was rattling inside this mirror. Someone didn't want us to find it. But we have. Really strange objects were inside. Like this small pendant necklace. What looks like a burnt piece from a Ouija board.
So you know what the Ouija board is, right? Where you have the little almost like a spade or something with a little hole cut out in the middle of it. And it looked like this thing was burnt. I don't know.
It's covered in wax. A second key.
And then there's another
and this
key.
lock of hair.
And a lock of hair.
Not sure why it was hidden, but if there's a second key, there could be another box. Follow and we'll keep looking.
And that's, you know, it's one of those things. Follow and we'll keep looking. Follow and we'll keep looking. Who knows? If it's rigged, you know, I get pissed off more than anything when people do that stuff and they play on our fears and our scaredness and our curiosity as well. I would just, if it turns out to be fake, I'd hit him with a baseball bat or something. Now, this guy right here, speaking of fears, you've seen Grand Theft Auto, right? The video game. A lot of people say, "Oh, I hate Grand Theft Auto. It simulates and encourages people to go out there and like steal cars and do crimes and stuff." Well, this gentleman took Grand Theft Auto to a whole new level and actually jumped in a boat and started tearing shit up. A man who stole a 60-foot yacht was arrested on Thursday after a 10-minute chase that ended with him hitting two other boats and a seawall in Newport Beach Harbor. This wild scene was all captured on video. So for more on the story, let's check out this article right here. You can check out this video as well. You ready? Here we go. Am I still on the same screen? Yep. Here we go. Of course, now it's going to do a commercial.
Police say the man behind the wheel of that powerboat stole it.
That's right. Officers say they were trying to talk to the guy about vandalism accusations when he jumped in and took off. The crash has happened near the Rusty Pelican restaurant along PCH near Tustin Avenue this morning in Newport Beach. And that's where KCAL9's Rena Nakano is live with more video of this bizarre incident, Rena.
Yeah, Leslie, Amy, this was pretty crazy, as you saw by the video. It seemed like every single inch of this portion of the harbor was affected by the events that went on this morning. It actually started clear on the other side of this harbor. The man did a couple of donuts and eventually ended up smashing into the side of the bridge.
Here it comes. Oh, Jesus. Now, that's not a 60-foot boat. That's about a 35-foot boat. And he runs up on all these different boats, backs it up, and he's running it again.
Starboard side.
Hold on. Here's Deborah Dolly giving her situation. So the boat's about a 30-foot boat. I know what a 60-foot boat looks like. It doesn't move like this. This is a 35-foot boat. Again, but it does have power. So he rams this, and he's kind of like jumping over these all other smaller boats at the same time and hits this sailboat. And here's Deborah Dolly giving her, I guess she was in the sailboat at the same time.
If you think this looks scary from the dock, imagine if you were inside the smashed sailboat.
The entire starboard side came crashing in on me.
Oh, Deborah Dolly. She looks like she's old money and heaven for Betsy that I saw my life pass before my eyes.
And it didn't stop. It came once, twice, 3 times. So the whole boat, the poles, the steel, the enclosure, everything was crashing in on me.
Deborah Dolly was spending her Thursday morning relaxing inside her sailboat docked at Newport Harbor when her life flashed before her eyes. Newport Beach police says it all began when officers were chasing a man suspected of committing vandalism. At around 10 a.m., the man then stole a boat at the harbor and then went on a joyride.
He pulled the dock off itself, damaged heavily some boats across the way, and it just sounded like, you know, boats were sinking.
Kai McCartney witnessed the entire thing. He says after slamming into Dolly's sailboat, the man backed up, did a few donuts in the harbor, and attempted to get away.
And then he took off. I thought, is it just going to be a hit and run? What's going on?
But he wasn't done. After speeding across the harbor, then this.
Get out!
The man hit another boat until finally crashing into the wall.
Now that I can see the boat, it might be 60 foot. Could be 45. But yeah, it looks a little bit bigger in this video.
The sounds of him hitting that boat in the wall brought
crashing into the wall.
The sounds of him hitting that boat in the wall brought everyone out of their homes.
The owner of this boat says he just got this rare 1960 trolley craft delivered on Saturday. He hasn't even been able to sail on it yet.
What are the
After
chances?
all the destruction, Harbor Police arrested the man and towed the boat away.
Yeah, that's a 60-foot boat. Sorry, I stand corrected.
Dolly said that she did get her head hit, so she is getting that checked out, but otherwise she is okay. But understandably, she remains shaken up. Live in Newport Beach, I'm Rena Nakano, KCAL 9 News.
Oh, Jesus. I mean, imagine. Now, I had a boat for a long time, and just controlling one of those big boats and running up on the, I always think that I'd lose control and accidentally bump another boat. But this guy was just like, not Dukes of Hazzard, but I mean, Grand Theft Auto. He was just running over all the boats and smashing everything as much as he could. So we'll see what happens to him as we follow that story. Now, with us living in the pandemic and now slowly getting back out to the world, I know I've said this a million times before, we've been used to sitting at home and doing video calls and home calls and stuff. We really don't care about our hair. We don't care about our makeup unless you're on a video call, of course. But most of our calls have been on just a conference call type thing. So my wife, like I said, works from home. She gets out of bed. We have breakfast in the morning. She does change her clothes just to like what I call house clothes. So she's not walking around in her, nightgown or whatever like that. It just makes you feel like you're doing something with your life, taking care of yourself. Now, she won't wear her hair out. Anyways, where I'm getting at is some people are very self-conscious about their hair. This kid right now is not, but soon will be. He is suffering from what they call uncomfortable hair syndrome. A woman found out on Instagram that she was posting pictures of her son, and everyone says, well, your son has uncomfortable hair syndrome. And you're like going, well, what the hell is that? People with uncomfortable hair syndrome, or UHS, have hair that grows out in a triangle pattern. Uncomfortable hair syndrome is usually diagnosed between 3 months and 12 years old of age. The chemical hair treatment may help, but it'll only be temporary. So here we go with the picture. Now, what it looks like, you ever seen kids or anyone that touches one of those magneto things and their hair stands up all over the place? This kid's hair stands up all the time like this, 24/7, like the worst cowlick you could ever have. And if you want to see this video, make sure you go over to Prophet Radio. You can see this video as well. Let me blow this up so everyone can see it, and we can see the little, oh, look at him sitting there. Here he goes.
16 months old, and
oh, wait, hold on. What's his name?
Locke is now 16 months old, and last summer,
look at his hair.
A stranger DM'd me on my Instagram account and asked me if he had ever been diagnosed with uncombable hair syndrome. I had never heard of it, so of course I went into like a Google deep dive.
He looks like he's got a haystack on his hair. He looks like he has 90s rocker hair or 80s rockers hair.
And called his pediatrician. Long story short, they directed us to an awesome specialist down at Emory in Atlanta. They took pictures of his hair and samples, and a couple weeks later, we got the call that it actually was uncombable hair syndrome.
I'm sorry. I said uncomfortable hair syndrome, which I think still fits, but it's called uncombable hair syndrome. I stand corrected on that one as well. I'm falling short left and right here. But yeah, it's called uncombable hair syndrome, UHS. So here we go. The syndrome causes the hair to stand straight up without laying down. And he's probably got a good 3 to 4 inches of length on his hair, and it's standing straight up like a porcupine all the way around his head.
We get comments across the board, and we get them every day. Everybody asks to touch it, and as long as people ask and they're nice, and as long as the baby doesn't mind, we don't mind either. Nobody knows about it because they've never seen it before. There's just not a lot of information on it, and then they think it will change or could go away at about puberty. So we'll see what happens over the years.
So it's kind of like you ever shaven your head before or shaved your head before, and then your hair comes back curly or straight, the reverse of what you had. You completely get it down to, the bare scalp and stuff, and then your hair comes back. or I know when I was growing up as a kid or a baby or as a child, I had blonde hair, and I'm sure, 50% of you out there had blonde hair as a kid growing up, and all of a sudden your hair changes different colors. That's kind of what this kid's going through right now, but I guess it's called Uncombable Hair Syndrome. So you can check that out. Go over to prophetradio.com, and you can see that, and along with our other videos and stuff that we've been talking about here on the show. All right, guys, on that note, I'm going to let you get back to what you got to do. We appreciate each and every one of you listening to us, downloading us, sharing us with your friends, and to show you how much we appreciate you, we'll give you some free stuff. Go over to prophetradio.com, and we'll send you some free swag. On that note, guys, I'm going to let you get back to what you got to do. My name is the Deacon saying goodnight, and good night.
Wait.
We're in hat today.
This is the end. The absolute end.
Écoute-moi.